Last year, home sales dropped 19%. And usually when home sales drop, home values are not far behind. And there are several states that are leading the nation in home value decline that we're keeping an eye on. Could this be the housing reset that we need that will bring down the values in the rest of the country? I want to take a closer look at that and then talk about why those states are declining. And I also want to take a look at which states are actually appreciating and why those states are appreciating above the national average. Now, at the recording of this video, home values have appreciated about 5% so far this year. And typically during the springtime, home values do appreciate. This is the time of year when we're going to see the most amount of appreciation and the likelihood for every state to appreciate even a small amount. But there are two states in particular that I want to focus in on, and the first one is Florida. Now, Florida has been all over the news, and there's a couple reasons why. One reason is their inventory level. Back in 2022, Hurricane Ian rolled through and damaged thousands of homes.
It's hell on earth as Hurricane Ian slams into Florida.
And that hurricane had a ripple effect on the housing market. Not only did we see a surge in renovated homes, but we saw a lot of homeowners walk away. So we had an abundance of homes that needed repair.
3 months after Hurricane Ian, John Gaunt is just starting to rebuild.
Home builders came in to either tear down and replace those homes or renovate those homes. And a lot of those homeowners decided just to sell and leave Florida. And a lot of that stemmed from the increasing insurance cost and HOAs.
8 months after Hurricane Ian, destruction is still a common sight here. Many homeowners blame insurance companies, saying payouts have been slow and insufficient.
The insurance costs in Florida have gone through the roof over the last 3-4 years. And along with that, the HOA cost has also increased. The homeowners associations that covered these buildings that were damaged had to make up the money somewhere. And in order to cover all of those expenses, HOAs were increased.
The expectation was maybe 20, 30% increase, and now you're seeing a fourfold increase.
So now you have rising HOAs, you have rising insurance cost, and now you have an abundance of inventory. And what that has led to is an oversupply of inventory. The rest of the country has an undersupply, but Florida has seen an oversupply. And when you have oversupply, you have more sellers than you do buyers. That's when you start seeing more depreciation and lowering home values.
Even though home prices continue to rise in some parts of the country, a new report found several areas in Florida could see home prices drop over the next year.
Now, according to CoreLogic, the top markets to keep an eye on that are at the highest risk for home value decline are Palm Bay, Melbourne, Deltona, Daytona Beach, and Ormond Beach. If those areas start seeing excessive time on the market and an increase in inventory, that is going to be the red flag that price drops are coming. Now, the economists are predicting that at the end of the tourist season, which is right around the beginning of May, is where you'll likely see the beginning of the decline. That is when the start of the downturn will happen, and we will watch for the next 60 days to see what happens. And that's the most likely time frame that we're going to see a shift in those values in those areas. Now, currently, Cape Coral is leading the way with price declines at negative 4.4%, with the median home value being $415,000. And that's followed by Panama City, which has seen a negative 3.8% drop in the median value, which sits at currently $351,000. And then lastly, Crestview is down 0.2% with a median value of about $299,000. Now, the other state leading the way in price decline is going to be Texas. Now, they are also experiencing oversupply, primarily from an influx of people that moved in during the pandemic. However, there have been shifts in the job market and there's been a ton of tech layoffs. So that demand has shifted. And as a result, that new construction is not selling as fast as it was during the pandemic. As a matter of fact, they had the highest number of new construction homes in the country. And now as a result, those prices are starting to shift. At the top of the list is going to be San Antonio, which has seen a negative 4.6% home depreciation with a median home value of $305,800. Next on the list would be New Braunfels with a negative 4.6% home depreciation with a median home price of $420,000. And then lastly would be the Austin Round Rock market, which has seen a negative 0.3% depreciation in home values with a median home price of about $466,000. Now, I wanted to mention one other market that came up on the list. It's kind of a standalone standalone community, but it's going to be in Elmira, New York. Now, this is a small town of about 85,000 people. It's extremely affordable with a median home price of about $135,000. However, with an unemployment rate which is much higher than the national average, they are one of the top in the country for population loss. And as a result, they saw a negative 15% depreciation in their home value. Now, I just want to take a quick minute to mention that real estate is local. And it's important that you talk to a local agent to find out what is happening in your local area to get an idea of where you sit with your home value. Now, I have been in the real estate industry since 1996. And I have built relationships with agents all across the country. If you need a good local agent in your area, there's going to be a link in the description. Click that link, be a short form for you to fill out. I'll reach out to you. We'll have a quick conversation so I can get an idea what you are looking for, what you need, and I'll match you with a great agent in your area. Now, I want to shift gears from the states that have had the most depreciation to the states that have had the most appreciation. And there are several states that are noteworthy that are appreciating above the national average. Now, if we look at the nation as a whole, right now we're seeing at about a 5% year-over-year appreciation for the entire country. But specifically, the Northeast is coming in about 11% appreciation, the Midwest is coming in at about 7.4%, the West is coming in about 7.3%, and the southern states about 3.3%. But I want to focus on two areas, and the first area is going to be Illinois. Illinois actually has 4 of the 10 top fastest growing markets in the country. They are ranked the second most affordable state in the country by Cleaver Research. They have job growth which is higher than normal, with an unemployment rate at about 4.4%. The median home price is about $257,800, and Chicago was listed as the fastest growing city in 2023. The average cost of living is $48,588 compared to the median household income of $73,000. And they've also seen strong economic growth with continual increases in new construction permits. Now, the 4 markets with the highest level of appreciation is going to be Kankakee, Illinois with 22%, Rockford, Illinois at 20.1%, Champaign-Urbana with 20%, and Bloomington with 18.5% appreciation. With the affordability crisis in this country, I'm expecting that we'll hear more about Illinois in the coming months throughout the next year. With a median home price of $257,000, which is far below what the U.S. average is, I would expect a population growth and a surge to happen in Illinois, and I would expect to see some massive growth in that market. Now, the other area of the country that's leading the way in appreciation is going to be the Northeast. And the Northeast historically has always done well with appreciation. And at the top of the list is going to be New Jersey at 12.2%, followed by New Hampshire at 10.6%, Connecticut at 9.5%, and Rhode Island at 9.2%. And then lastly, a state that we don't hear a lot about actually, it's South Dakota. They're seeing a home value appreciation of 11.5% with a median home price of about $317,800. Now, South Dakota has a healthy economy. Their unemployment is at only 2.1%, and they're also leading the way in affordable housing and taxes. They are one of the lowest taxes in the country with no state income tax. Now, the current housing market is almost a tale of two markets. We have states that are seeing over 20% appreciation, and we have states that are seeing negative 5% depreciation. And with the election coming up later in the year, I am expecting to see a lot more shifting with interest rates and home values. Now, if you're trying to figure out if now is the right time to sell, check out this video for regrets to avoid when selling. I'm Jen Sylvester, and I'm here to help you become a savvy home seller.